I'm not used to my switch being way up here though. Keep wanting to reach down here where it joins into the extender. You know, I feel like this isn't the best quality flax because, like, when I watch videos of flax, it's all like really long fibers, and this is not. Like they're just like short little bits, kind of like linted flax made into a rope. But it works, so I'm not complaining. And it's spinning up, and we'll see once it's all like thwacked and scrunched and beaten within an inch of its life. We'll see how it does. Yeah, I have no idea how any of it works. I haven't done much research on flax. I thought about planting some flax and growing my own, and then I'm like, do I really want to try and go through the whole process of processing flax? I'm like, I don't know if I want to try that. Maybe one day I'll grow flax. Or I could be like, I don't know if flax is one of those ones that you can use for like cover crops. I should look into that because if that's the case, I think my aunt sometimes will plant like a cover crop. And if flax is one, I could be like, hey, could you just plant like a whole bunch of flax? Because she has a huge garden. She has two. She she used to just have the one, but then she got into like selling tomatoes and a few other things at the farmer's market. So she had another garden dug. And so her main garden is on the one side of her yard. And then the other garden, she basically just plants like tomatoes and a couple other things. And that's for her farmer's market. Ah, okay. Is it softer, rougher? Does it make a difference? Or is it just like whatever? Like, is one better than the other? This one seems pretty soft, so I'm quite content with it. There are like the odd little rough bit in it, um, but it's mostly really soft. Just kind of like reminds me of like when you're like spinning up sheep wool and you get the odd bit of like guard hair in there where it's a little bit rougher than the rest of the wool. That's kind of what it reminds me of. Spinning up my dog's hair was like that because he had like really soft downy stuff, and then he had like the coarser guard hairs. Nice. Collect the dog hair. I must collect the dog hair. My fingers are starting to get icky feeling. And I'm like, no, you're not allowed yet. We haven't even completed a full row yet. Welcome back from ads. Good old ad land. Trying to get Mom to figure out how to get in so she can use the chat. It's as simple as clicking on the video and then clicking on the two little boxes in the top corner. But she struggles. Either that, or she just needs to close the app down, like completely, and reopen it. Or just like click on the link that I sent her. Oops. Just as I wet my fingers, too. It's raining. I should check on stickers. Oh, come on. She's in her little cubby. She made a cubby out of a box that needs to go to the dump or recycling or whatever, and then there's an old pillow that probably also needs to go to the dump, but she made a little cubby nest in there, and she seems to like it. So I as much as I want to take it and get rid of it, I feel bad because it's kind of like her little house. I just need to build her something, like a little shelter. She loves being outside. She only likes to come inside if she's super cold or hungry, or it's bedtime and she wants to cuddle. Nice! Hello! How's it going? We are spinning on linen today. Oof. How's that going? Is it nice to be back at the office? Or do you like working at home? Well, aren't you awfully noisy? Literally sounds like something's slapping. I don't know what it... Don't think it's that. This thing always makes noise though. My Nano is definitely not as quiet as my 6.1. Honestly, that's not too bad. Yeah, sometimes you gotta be a little bit late. Get back into the grind of things. It's only bad if you're several hours late. If you're anything like me and is paranoid about being late, I used to go to work an hour, sometimes an hour and a half before my shift started. And I would just sit and have coffee and wake up at work. the only way to function, honestly. And I agree. You need the bean water. Did we not just listen? I swear this was like the first song that played on this playlist. I hope it's not like just like a constant repeat of like a handful of songs. I'm hoping that it was a different Bryan Adams song that I heard earlier. I can handle cold bean water. I mean, it's better hot, but you know, I can handle it cold. It's too precious to waste. It's my precious. I swear, Nano, you're getting noisier and noisier. But I love you. Oh yeah, didn't we agree on a name? Was it last night we were talking about it? Nancy? Calling her Nancy? Nancy the Nano? Kinda like that one. Or was it Nan? Nan was one of the options. I think Nancy's best. When you're end weaving, you gotta be in the end weaving land. I think most people do. I mean, there are a few weird people out there, and I mean, I'm weird. But people that like weaving in ends, they're really weird. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I don't know where this came from, but I had like this loose thing of linen. True, very true. Oh God, yeah. Yeah, that would be oof. I think for me, weaving in ends is so annoying because it's like, ah, I finally finished the project. This is awesome. Oh wait, no, still have this to do. Depending on what I'm doing, I usually will weave my ends in as I go, and then that helps. Or like if you're able to like knit your the majority of your ends in, or crochet the majority of your ends in, that's not bad. You know, I haven't tried those yet, but I've seen that like a lot of people use them. I just have, of course, I don't use chunky yarn, so my where did I put it? Way at the bottom, not where it's supposed to be. I just use my I've had this thing for years. How I haven't lost it, I don't know. But just this darning needle. Oops, it's not going to show up very good. So it's got the big hole, and then it's got a pointy, pokey end. And this guy is my baby. Yeah. I've had this. I had three too. One was smaller, not quite as sharp end than this guy with the sharp end, and then one that's a little bit bigger than this one that has the blunt end. And I have the other ones. They're in my sewing basket, which I think is still in my camper. Um, but my my sharp darning needle, as I call it. I don't know why I had to say it so aggressively, but that one is always with a knitting or crochet project. Now I just keep it in my little red Chagoo case, and I always know where it is. Yeah, I thankfully don't do any thread work yet. I might get back into it. I used to embroider when I was little. I actually learned how to embroider before I learned how to knit, I think. Or right around the same time, I guess. Because I was pretty little when I started knitting. But I used to just. My mom would be like doing embroidery or something, and I would always pick up whatever she was working on and start working on it. Sometimes, meaning my mom would have to take out what I did, but yeah, I enjoyed embroidery quite a bit. I did not have the patience for cross stitch though. I tried it a few times and never really got anywhere. But maybe now I have a lot more patience now. Right, there's some beautiful embroidery work out there. I love watching like TikTok videos or little Instagram reels of like embroidery stitches and going, huh, I could do that. I'm a very visual person, so when I see something, I'm like, oh, I can do that. Oh, that's not hard. But if someone was to like try to explain it to me, I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I just pulled it out and just put it back in again. Yeah, I'm trying to remember how far I got on embroidery. Because I used to... I even used to bring it to school sometimes and work. I remember in grade 1 bringing embroidery to school to work on. I think during like recess or something. I can't remember. But yeah, it was grade 1. I remember because I had Mrs. Pollock, teacher that was mean to me. Because I had a learning disability, so I didn't learn quite so well, and I couldn't sit still. Turns out I probably had like ADHD or autism. I honestly need to go get diagnosed because I relate to a lot of that stuff. But she used to sit me with the troublemakers. So you get to sit on the side of the classroom with the troublemakers because you're a troublemaker. I hated that teacher. She was never nice to me. She was also one of those teachers that played the whole teacher's pet. So there was like 2 girls in my class that were like the classroom favorites. And, oh, Mrs. Pollock, can I do this for you? And, oh, Mrs. Pollock, this, and blah, 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 blah. That's cool. I had one teacher that I liked. And I guess in a way she did sort of play favorites with me a little bit. Which I kind of needed in some ways. She was old. She was very like old school norm. She was my dad's teacher. That's how old she was. She retired when I was in grade 5. Yeah, so I went 2, 3, and 4 with her, and then she retired the next year. Very small school, so classes often got switched around a bit.